Okay. All right, start off split stance. So we're going the left leg in front, right leg back. So pre-position just means the legs are staying the same. They're not moving. So you're going to reach forward, drop the chest, and then come up and out of that, arch the back, reach the fingertips over the head. Go through 6 of those. Bend the knees, forward reach. Straighten out the legs, arch the back, open up the chest. Eyes go up to the ceiling. So on that forward reach, eyes go to the ground. On that reverse reach, eyes go up to the sky. So you should feel like that warms up that front leg, stretches out the core, puts a little mobility in the shoulders. Go through 6 of those on one side, and then easy enough, just switch sides whenever you're ready. New split stance. Same thing happens for the upper half of the body. Forward reach, open up the chest, reach overhead. 6 of these guys, and you should feel like you're just moving at whatever pace feels good. All right, from there, going to a balancing drill. So now balance on the left leg, and you're trying to get the right toe as far forward as you can and the right toe as far back as you can. So go through 10 of those each way pretty quickly. You're just going toe forward, toe back, toe forward, toe back. So this left leg's having to do a lot of work to keep you stable. Don't move so fast it makes you want to tip over. Before you switch sides, so if you've already done 10 forward to back, do the same kind of thing, but now you're trying to put weight into that foot and put weight in the foot behind you. So do 10 of those quickly. So now rather than just tapping the foot down, you're stomping forward, stomping back. So different than just a full lunge, because I'm not going all the way down and all the way back up. I'm just doing this like pivot step. 10 forward to back. And then go through those same 2 things on the other side. That first one is just the balanced toe reach. So now I'm balancing on the right foot, reaching with my left toes. 10 forward to back. Once you get used to that movement, you can start to go through it a little bit quicker. Forward, back, forward, back. And then once you've done those 10 toe reaches, you'll go back into those little stomp forwards and back where you're just putting more weight into that foot. So at each step, one foot has 50% of the weight, one foot has 50% of the weight, or evenly shared, evenly sharing the weight of you. 10 of those each way. So just that little stomp step. Should feel good. All right, so we'll come back to all of that different range of motion, but now we're going to do one more sagittal reach with a super wide stance for the feet. So you're going, same idea, forward reach, bend one knee. When you come all the way up and over the head, reach over the head. Go through 6, always to the same side. Bend the knee, forward reach, overhead reach. Bend the knee, reach, overhead reach. 6 of those. So notice just one knee is bending and the other leg is staying straight. So I'm getting this big stretch through the inside of this leg, and I'm warming up the quad and hip and hamstring. Same thing on the other side, it looks identical. Bend the left knee. I call this like a streamline pose. If you were to kick off the wall of a swimming pool, you go into this streamline pose. That's where biceps are to the ears, head is between the arms in that little window. This is kind of like one of our basic mobility drills, all of these, but it's a pretty good base. All right, so that would be the first round. Now I'll go through the second round on frontal plane, so everything to the side. So again, you'll start pre-positioned. So one leg in front, one leg back. This time go in to start with that streamlined position, and you're just leaning left to right. Do 6 each way, so 12 total leans. And it should feel good, like it just creates space between the ribs. You get a little stretch in the front of the hip that's back behind you. When you switch sides, same thing. Lean, lean, lean. This should feel good. This is a plane of motion we don't move on a lot, so when we get to do it, it feels good. 6 each way. If it feels great, you can keep going. And then we'll go back to those toe reach and then those pivot steps. So remember, doing 2 things on one leg and then we switch to 2 things on the other leg. So start out balancing on your left leg. Imagine you're on that balance beam that goes out east-west, and you're just trying to get that toe to reach as far east as you can and then as far west as you can. East, west. And you're doing 10 of these each way. So you can, as long as you don't lose balance, you can start moving a little bit quicker through that. All that effort is in this heel. Notice when I send the leg that way, my head goes this way. When I send the toe this way, head goes this way. You don't want to keep the body still and just move the leg. We're trying to put a big pivot in that hip. Then you're going through those stomp steps. So stomp where you were just reaching, stomp where you were just reaching. You're just doing this little pivot. Half of the weight's going onto that step. In some ways it's easier on that hip, in some ways it's harder. 10 each way. It should feel smooth, like you're not landing hard. I call it a stomp, but you're not really landing too hard on it. Once you're done with those 2 things, you're doing those same 2 drills on the fresh leg. So now I'm on the right leg, reaching the left foot out, reaching the left foot around. Reach, reach. It's where, like, if you have tiled floors, you can like aim for a certain thing on your tiled floor each time, or try to beat where you reached last time. 10 each way. So again, we're strengthening that hip's ability to bring you back to neutral, and then we'll go through those stomp drills. Stomp left, stomp tuck, stomp wide, stomp tuck. I just said you're supposed to land lightly, and then I call it a stomp. What else did I call it? A step. It's like a dance step. Very much like we're dancing. All right, when you're done there, back to these wide stances. This time, take the leg that we're going to and turn the toe out. So you're going right knee bends, left hand comes all the way up and over the head, and then back to neutral, straighten out the leg. Go through 6 of those. Then the right knee, reach the left arm over, back to neutral. So this is just a deeper frontal plane stretch than what we had done when we were in that split stance. 6 should feel like just enough that you're getting really stretched out, but not so much that you're like really fatiguing. Then turn that other leg out. Same thing, bend the left knee, reach the arm over the head, back to neutral. 6 of these guys. This can be as slow as you need for it to be. Think about when you're breathing and how you can connect that to the movement. Always try to exhale to come out of that stretch. Inhale, so you open up the ribs. Exhale, come back to neutral. Cool. Nice job. All right, we'll go through it one more time. Transverse plane of motion, so everything's gonna be twisting. So pre-position the legs. That means one leg goes in front, one leg goes back. Arms are in this kind of streamlined position if they're out in front, and you're just doing a big rotation each way. Imagine that you're trying to get that right shoulder to pull around as far as you can, and then you're trying to get the left shoulder to pull it around as far as you can. 6 each way. And then do the same thing on the other side. We're just working on rotation for that back. Same thing with a new stance, 6 rotations. This one should feel pretty simple. Then we'll go through the toe reaches and those steps. So following this, balancing on the left leg. Now, imagine you like laser beam shooting out of your hips and you need them to point to the left. So you reach the toe forward, and then you need them to point to the right. So you reach the toe back. So the goal is to have as much swivel in the hip as possible. What we're trying to focus on is giving that left hip, that where the femur comes up into that pelvis, as much wiggle as possible. So the muscles and ligaments and tendons, everything around it has to get used to moving it back to neutral. 10 of these each way. Again, if you can move faster through this, go for it. Don't sacrifice total balance. And then for that stomp step, it's the same thing. You're stomping and my toes are facing left. I'm stomping back and my toes are facing right. Stomp forward, stomp back. If you put the hands on the hips, it can really help emphasize that they are in fact twisting all the way left and then all the way right. 10 of those each way. That balancing leg is more or less unaffected. The femur is staying the same. It's just the pelvis moving on it. So the knee it shouldn't feel like this, oh, this tweaks my left knee. That knee should know no different of what that right leg is doing. All right, same two things on the other side. Balance on the right leg. Reach that left foot forward, reach the left foot back. If it helps to think about the shoulders facing one way and the shoulders facing the other way, because it's just hard to really understand how to control the pelvis. If that helps, go for it. This whole carriage is moving together. 10 each way. And then 10 little stomp steps. So again, my foot is landing forward, but it's pointing this way. And then my foot is landing back and it's pointing the opposite direction. Stomp forward, stomp back. 10 of those each way. Again, that stomp step is just taking like half of the weight of you. Nice job. All right, so then we're gonna go super wide stance for the feet. This one's funky. You're gonna turn one toe in and we're just going down and up. So we're not gonna worry about adding any rotation to the spine because it just becomes a lot to think about. Think about just sending the hips back and sitting down. That knee is going in and back up. So we've already done neutral for this leg. We've done turned out for the leg. Now we're doing the weirdest one at the end, that turned in for the leg. Go through 10 of these. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, just while your brain is kind of remembering how this works. We still need one more rotation for the spine, so we'll do that after this. We don't need it, but I feel like to complete the sequence, it makes sense. Bend the left knee, straighten out the left leg. So I'm trying to keep my hips straight. So we've been training this, the pelvis to deal with a femur that's neutral, femur that's turned out, and now femur that's turned in. And we're not owls, we cannot rotate it all the way around. I'm crazy. You can even run backwards like you run forward. All right, so now plant the right foot down, tuck the left leg, and when you twist down, you're gonna twist in the direction of the legs that you have like all twisted up around you. So if the right foot's down, you're twisting right, back to neutral, right, back to neutral. Go through 6 of those. So this is the last time we're just adding in this spine rotation. Same thing on the other side. When you switch legs, tuck that back leg. You're just going through 6. I feel like you did extra. Did you do bonus?
I did 10.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. I was like, I feel like I started after you and I finished before you. Go through 6 of these. I don't even go through 10 if it feels really good. All right. All right, one thing for the ankles and then everything else we're gonna do is gonna be on the mat. So bounce on the left foot, take the toe, the right toe, whatever that is, forward. And I'm just like resting on the top of the toe. So I have the toe tucked under and bend that standing knee. So you're kind of flexing out that foot and then flip the right foot down. So the heel's down and bend the legs again. So now it's a huge Achilles stretch. Flip the foot over, stretch at the top of the foot, plant the heel down, bend the knees, stretch out. It should feel like Achilles or lower calf, or honestly, wherever you're tightest. Go through 6 of these. So it's that we have a left sturdy leg. You shouldn't feel any stretch on that. We have the right leg that we're just taking and flopping over to the top of the foot and then putting the heel down and stretching out the calf. 6. And then same thing on the other side whenever you're ready. You're gonna flip the toe forward. So you get a big stretch on the top of the foot, which should feel good. And then plant the heel down, bend the knee, and get a big stretch through the calf, through the lower calf. 6 of those. All right. When you're done there, everything else we do is going to be down on the mat. So just get comfy, find some space. I'll put this a little bit lower. All right. So working on a hip opener. So stand at the end of your, don't sit down.
I broke the seal.
All right, stand at the end of the mat, chin to the chest, roll down slowly, walk the hands out. And you're gonna go super wide step for that right leg, super wide step for that left leg. Go through 12 of those, 6 on each side. So you're trying to get this big stretch through the front of the leg that's back behind you, and then a ton of mobility for the leg that's coming up. 12 total, 6 each side. You're just alternating right then left, right then left. From there, stay in your straight arm plank. And now you're gonna drive the knee to the chin and round the back, come back to neutral. Drive the knee to the chin, round the back, come back to neutral. 6 on each side, 12 total. Imagine you have like a string connected to the middle of the back and you're trying to arch it up like you're getting like punched up in the stomach. All right, when you're done there, walk the hands back to the feet or walk the feet up to the hands or a little bit of both, whatever feels better. So I'm just standing both feet flat, drop the hips, arms come forward, straighten out the hips, hands can come down or closer to the ground or whatever feels better for you. Go through 6 of these. This is just a lot of mobility for the knees and a massive hamstring stretch at the top of that. On that last one, stay here. So even if you're like, well, I can't touch the ground or I have to bend my knees a lot, that's fine. Leave one hand down, keep the eyes down on the ground and lift one arm up to the ceiling and just hold for a couple seconds and then switch. One hand is pointing down towards the ground, one arm you're trying to rotate up as much as you can and point back down. Go through 6 of those on each side. If it helps to bend one knee or straighten another, like if I bring my right arm up, it helps me to straighten out the right leg just so I can get this twist, or you can keep the knees bent, whatever feels better there. We're just trying to get a big stretch to the shoulder. 6 each way, or 6 for each hand. And we'll go through that sequence 2 more times. We're runners, we don't use our shoulder mobility very much, but it's still good to work on. All right, while you're down here, go back down to your plank, arms out, walk the feet back. Did you turn it off? Oh, I thought it was music. Oh. All right, so you're back to this plank, arms straight. So the only difference here is when I step the right foot up, now I'm just gonna try to take the hands off the ground for just half a second. Hands come back down and switch. Other foot comes up. Just take the hands off the ground for half a second. 6 on each side. Ideally, you're staying low when you pick the hands up. So the lower back's having to fire because you're basically just taking away its support and asking it to stay in the same place without its support. 6 on each side. Again, you should feel this big stretch in the front of the leg that's staying back there. 6 each side. And then go back to straight arm plank. This time we're doing the knee drivers, but rather than bringing the knee to the chin, you're gonna bring right knee to the right tricep and bring your eyes around to look at it. Almost like you're trying to make sure the knee is going to that tricep. 6 on each side, 12 total. Knee to the tricep, return. So you're just from the front, it's just this big curve in the spine. Eyes are coming around. So you're getting a big stretch in the side and you're also asking the core to do a lot. When you're done there, walk the hands back or walk the feet in, whatever feels better. This time, so last time I had my feet parallel, this time I'm just gonna take one foot slightly back, right? So now my toe is level with my back foot's heel. Same idea, come down low, straighten out the hips, come back up. Go through 6 with one leg in front, 6 with the other leg in front. So from the side, it's like this. This heel is up the whole time. And I'm just coming down and then back up. Whatever range of motion you have there, even if you're just here and you can barely hinge over, it's still asking that foot to do a lot. Same thing on the other side. You just switch. Which foot is rooted down? Which foot has the toe down? So from the other side, it's like this. So squat down, arms go forward, hips up, arms go down. All right, 6 of those. This time, feet are together. One hand is pointing down towards the ground, and one eyes, if I twist to the right, my eyes are gonna go to the right, okay? When you switch sides, eyes go to the left. Third round, we'll take the eyes up to the sky with us. We're just switching where the vision is right now. 6 each way. Reach up, reach down, reach up, reach down. In some ways, it should feel easier because when you kept the eyes down, you had to do more to twist the shoulder up. Now you're just kind of taking more of the head and neck with you. And we'll go through that one more time. Yay! It's not so bad, right?
Oh yeah, it is.
It's not that bad. Okay, first we start with our plank. So if you stood up like we did, chin to the chest, roll down, walk the hands out. So we're doing these big wide stomps. The only difference now is you're gonna bring the spine all the way up. I kind of bring the hands to prayer. You can bring the hands to the rib cage, whatever feels better. I think yesterday I was trying to do jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands if I don't do this like prayer pose. So 6 on each side, 12 total. Nice job. If it feels like too much to just come up without using the hands, you can always put the hand on the knee and just use that as like a little extra press to come all the way up. I have a glute that has decided to stop working. So on one side, I have to cheat. On the other side, it's no problem. All right, last knee drivers. So we did a neutral knee driver where the knee came to the chin. Then we did a knee driver where the knee came to the elbow. Now we're going to do a knee driver where the right knee goes to the left elbow. Left knee goes to the right elbow. 6 on each side, 12 total, whatever that math is. 12, almost done. All right, then walk the hands to the feet or walk the feet to the hands. And see if you can basically just barely take one leg back and use it as support. I'm trying to like just put my big toe on the ground. Same thing, bend the knee, reach the arms forward, straighten out the leg, arms come down. So it's just more weight on that leg, 6 total. I'm still cracking and popping. We were joking that we just play music during these classes so that we try to drown out the noise of our bodies moving and crackling. How can they have any more crackle in them? All right, 6 of those. Then you're gonna go feet together. You should be able to know what's next. One hand goes down. It doesn't have to touch the ground. It can just be hanging towards the ground. The idea is that the hand's in that direction. One arm comes up towards the ceiling and eyes go with it. And then switch. Eyes go up and back down. Eyes go up and back down. If it makes you dizzy to kind of have your eyes follow this track up, you can open your eyes when you're at the bottom, close the eyes, open the eyes when they're up. Close the eyes when you move, open the eyes when you're down. I kind of take like a long blink between the two. Six on each side. All right, one thing for the hip. I know I said that was it, but I promise this is actually it. Okay, so standing up, this one should just feel really good. Split stance, just like how we started. That back leg behind you, we're gonna try to stretch out the front of the hip. So you're just gonna bend the front knee and tuck the tailbone under. So I'm almost like leaning back. Pull the shoulders back, take the eyes up to the ceiling, and then come out of that. So do 2 more of those. Bend the knees, tuck the tailbone under, lean back, eyes go up, and back to neutral. It should feel like a big stretch. You feel in the front of the right hip?
Yeah.
Last one. And then same thing on the other side. Left leg goes back, or whichever leg you haven't already done. Bend that front knee. Think about tucking the tailbone under. It's a weird thing to think about. We don't like to think we have a ton of control over the pelvis. Should feel like a good big stretch for the front of that leg. 3 of those, guys. And I promise that was the last thing, so I'll be true to my word because I already tried to sneak in an extra one. That's it. We're done.
Peace.
Way to go, guys. Good to see everybody. Mwah.